as you all were probably listening to some of the side conversation, we have football this week. And I don't know about you, but I am jacked up about it. Obviously, I won't be on the field, but man, I was at a cross country meet last Saturday, and I was jacked up, and just the fact that our volleyball officials have been working, and the fact that you all get to strap it up this week is just unbelievable. And this is something we've all been waiting for. And if you're not excited, then you're crazy. You need to retire. With that, same rules apply. Let's give our presenters the respect that we do. And if you have questions, feel free to put those in the chat. Dana or myself will, probably Dana today, because I'll be running the slides. And of course, if you have a what if question, save those for next season. All right, Dana.
Thought he was going to say save them for the end. He put a little twist on that.
And really, honestly, because I love the football guys and every sport really, but I am tired of what if this happens. Well, of course, what ifs are going to happen, and that's what if is officiating. So we can ask the what if questions all day long, and we don't have answers to them because they're what ifs. So don't ask the what ifs. That's a pet peeve.
And this is the season of the what if, so we're in it together.
Absolutely.
So, with that, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Wednesday night football meeting. And it is exciting that it actually is now football season. A little weird that it's football season in March, but hey, we'll take what we can get. So this is actually the last NMAA hosted meeting of the season. So next week, groups will have a local meeting anytime between Sunday and Saturday of next week, and that'll be the wrap up for the season. So season starting, meetings are ending. It's kind of a strange time, but it is good. One of the things before I introduce our speakers for tonight, we'll probably be sending out an email survey just asking about what you thought of the online meetings, what you think we should do moving forward as far as online and live, combination thereof, that kind of stuff. So just be on the lookout for that, and please give us your opinions as to what we should do in the future once things get back to whatever normal is. So with that, I will turn it over to our presenters for this evening. We'll be talking about game awareness. Those presenters are from the Southwest region, Mr. Charlie Devine and Mr. Mike Rendell. And one of the things I did want to do prior to this meeting starting is many of you may have heard that the football officiating family here in New Mexico lost one of its members, Lloyd Price, who was a basketball and football official out of the Albuquerque area, passed away late last week. And we just want to make sure that we're keeping his family and friends and anybody whose lives he touched in our thoughts. And I hate to start on a somber note, but I talk a lot about the NMOA family, and certainly when we lose one of our own, it's a rough deal. So please keep him in your thoughts and his family, and just lean on each other. As I mentioned in the newsletter this week, it's a good time to be of support to one another, because this is it's a rough time. But with that, I'll turn it over to Mike and Charlie, and we'll get rolling.
Okay, the screen is black. Nate, is there a reason for that?
Is it still black? Okay, hold on.
Oh, Oscar's here. Hey, Oscar.
Hey.
Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can fix this issue.
Okay.
Dana, you may have to share.
Okay, just let me know. Todd said to turn on the lights, so I don't know if that'll help.
I don't know.
It was right in between whenever Dana was talking.
Can
it just
see
went
that?
blank over here.
What about that?
No,
it's still black.
Okay, Dana, will you share?
Sure. Will you stop sharing?
Yep. And
Awesome.
then as far as the videos, Mike, I will. I think I can get those to play.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. And I am a lot less proficient at this. So does that look like a PowerPoint presentation to anybody?
Yes.
Yep.
Hi, guys. I'm Mike Rendell. I'm the Southwest Regional Assigner, and Charlie Devine and I are going to do the presentation for you tonight. And we have 3 other group leaders that contributed. Leonard Velasquez from Ruidosa, Gordon Bennett, and Tommy Pata. I'd like to thank those guys for the contributions. Anyway, what we're going to talk about tonight is game awareness. And game awareness is going to lead us right in what should be a part of your pregame. I'm sure a lot of you guys go over these scenarios in your meetings and your pregame, but it's be aware. It's basically be aware what could possibly happen with different formations, line to gain, and stuff like that. So we're going to chat a little bit. I'll speak for a couple of slides, and Charlie will chime in, and then we'll go back and forth. And we have a couple of videos, not long videos, just short little clips at the end, and we'll see if we can't get them to play for you as well. Okay, Dana, next one, please. Okay, game awareness begins on the field. So when you walk on the field, you're obviously observing the field and all the equipment on the field that we deal with. Plus, we are observing players. I think a big thing that we all noticed over the years is the high school players have watched the NFL players and college players and pull those pants up above their knee, or take the shin pad out, or the knee pad out, I should say. And we need to be aware of that and make sure that they're playing with that. And if we see a couple of them with that during the pregame, it might be a good idea just to mention it to the coach. And most of the time they're aware of it, but sometimes the high school kids will be high school kids. We were all there one time, and so let's just make sure we're watching that, and make sure that all the players are properly equipped so we can pursue with the game without having any injuries and stuff like that. Remember, if we find some kid that's not properly equipped with their knee pads, we have to send him out. We don't want to do that. So let's try to do that, police that prior to the game. Okay, next one, please, Dana. Okay, some of your equipment that we have to look for. Most places will have it, some places won't have it. Your pylons, make sure your pylons are in the proper place, not up on the other ones on the back line of the end zone. Make sure they're off a yard off the end line there, and make sure the pylons are, if they're anchored, we don't want them anchored. We want them to be able to move, because we don't want something to be anchored there and the kids falling or something like that. But make sure they're movable, and make sure they're in the right position. And then we want to go over, and on each side, as we walk the field, most of the team boxes are they're set up pretty good. But remember, we have that restricted area that we have to look for too. So let's look for the team box. Make sure we know where the team box is, and then make sure we know the restricted areas. And just be aware of all that stuff. Then we're going to go in, probably the head linesman, but all officials could probably be involved in this, especially the first game of the year, because I'm sure all of us are going to probably end up working the chains, the line to gain equipment sometime this year. So we all need to go over there and just get a little refresher from the head linesman that's going to be on that game, and make sure that the equipment is 10 yards long, and make sure the down indicator is in proper working order. And then we'll get with the chain crew. Most of these chain crews, most of these schools, they've done it a while, but sometimes the smaller schools might not have that. And then with this being the year that we're in, the pandemic, the schools and the AD might handle that a little differently. So make sure the referees, the white hats, communicate to your AD if you could prior to your game, and just kind of touch base on the crew, chain crew, the line to gain equipment, and so you guys are prepared for that when you get to the game. 10-yard markers, make sure if the field's properly marked. I know back some field, I can't remember what field it was, and it was only 9 yards inside the 10 on one field. I can't remember what field it was, but it's been years ago. And then also observe other field markings and equipment. Make sure there's nothing up on the field that somebody could run out of bounds and run into and get hurt. If they have equipment there, observe it. And if they're using it in the pregame, don't worry about it. But prior to the game, before we had a kickoff, make sure that we get with the head coach and get that equipment back out of the way. So we don't want none of the players running off the field and running that stuff and getting an injury that way. Okay, Dana, next one, please. Okay, referee, and now this is a new thing we're going to do because of the situation we're in. The referee and the umpire are going to log the coin toss. So what we'll have is we're going to take one captain, no multiple captains. I'm going to touch base on that a little bit later in the clip too, on some stuff that they want us to do for the season we're having this year. Make sure that no shaking hands. I know if the kids, if the kids reach out and shake hands, I mean, you try to stop them, but if they're going to shake hands, they're going to shake hands. But don't let them hug and all that other stuff. Just say, guys, we can't do that right now, even though you're getting ready to knock the heck out of each other, but we can't be shaking hands and stuff right now. It's just, we want to follow the rules so we don't have any disruptions. After the coin toss, of course, the umpire and the referee will log information down, and then they will meet with the remaining part of the crew and log down all that information and talk about who's got the choices in the second half and stuff like that. And make sure everybody has all that equipment. And also on that same card that you're writing on, every official, every time there's a timeout, we all need to log it down, all of us. I know there's been times in the past, some officials haven't logged it down, but if we get in a pinch and we all have the same amount of timeouts, the same time in each quarter, then we should be all right with that. So try not to shortcut anything on that, because that's something that we could use later in the game that probably bail us out of the mud. Okay, next one, please, Dana. All right, walk the field prior to the kick. Like I think I touched base on some of this stuff earlier. Walk the field, look for divots in the field, holes. Some of the fields, even though they're new or old, could have divots. Be aware where that stuff is. Be aware that hazardous equipment is. And just like say, prior to the game, make sure all that stuff is out of the way, and because we don't want the kids run over there and getting nailed by it or running into something and hurting themselves. Just make sure all that equipment's up out of the way. Make sure that the restricted area is marked correctly. And I'll touch base on the new restrictions for the team box later in one of the later clips. So I don't want to get into that right now, but we'll touch base, just touch it. It's going to be extended to the 10-yard line for players only. And make sure that it's for social distancing. I'm sure they got a game plan of how they want the kids to be when they're on the sideline, where they want them to stand. And I'm sure that the players are going to do what the coaches tell. Because one thing about the kids, they know if they don't follow the rules, they can't play. And that's one thing about kids. All of us were there. We're going to do stuff that we're supposed to when we want to play. Remember, the coaches, they don't get the extension. The coaches have to stay in the 25 to 25. They do not get the extension. Like I say, work with a coach on that and just let him know. Maybe a little briefing before the pregame. I mean, we go out the pregame, we get the head coaches. We got a little time there, maybe chat with them a few minutes, maybe go out a little bit earlier, seeing how we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Instead of going out 30 minutes prior, maybe go out 35. So we have a few more minutes to spare with each coach. And just make sure that if they have any questions, you can answer it for them. Is that the fourth one, Dana? I think it is. I think Charlie, you're up now for the fifth one, please.
Oh joy! All right, guys. After we've gone through the field and we've gone on and taken care of all the coin toss and all the pregame, preparing for the kickoff. And first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Charlie Devine. I've been with the Southwest region this is my 21st year. Prior to and while I was during my career, I'm a retired New Mexico State police officer. So I used to like to drive fast. Actually, I still like to drive fast. But can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead,
Okay.
Charlie. We can hear you. Yeah.
Right. Because anyway, preparing for the kickoff. Make sure on your kicking teams. First and foremost, make sure that you got 11 on the field. The worst thing to do is start a play and knowing that you don't have sufficient players. So make sure you got 11 on each side. Remember, the kicking team, they're going to be kicking from their 40-yard line. Adjustments can be made if it's a divot, if we've had torrential rains, which not necessarily in the spring. We might see that during the fall, but you can adjust it, and they can place that ball anywhere between the hash marks on the 40-yard line. All the players, with the exception of the kicker, they have to be within 5 yards of the ball, inside 5. They can't have their feet on that 35. They have to be inside that 35-yard line. And the last thing that, as officials, the one thing you want to make sure again, I umpire for Mike, so you can definitely hear him. He'll bark out chin straps, mouthpieces. Make sure everybody, the last thing we need to do is tell them. And again, after a while, it's a reflex for both us and for the players. They know what they're supposed to have on. They know that they're supposed to be ready to play. But again, that's the last thing. And then you get ready to move to when you move to your sideline, make sure you have your beanbag because again, and if it's a short kick, and I say short kick instead of onside kick because of terminology I've learned from J.E. Wells. If you're preparing for a short kick, then you've got to be watching, be cognizant of first touching and then when to start the clock. If it's legally touched after it's past that 10 yards, you start the clock. And if it's not, then you don't start the clock until it is past that 10 yards and then it's touched legally. And again, if you have to drop your beanbag for an early, because the ball didn't travel or there was contact with the ball prior to the 10, and again, you have to be ready for that. Go ahead and change the slide for me, Dana. Okay, kickoff and return. The language that we talk about is in 5-man mechanics. So normally, again, your back judge is going to be with the kicking team. Line judge is going to be with the receiving team. The linesman is going to be chain side. He's going to be opposite the scorer's box, and he's going to be at the 30-yard line. As the umpire, I'm going to be at the 20 on the home side or opposite the chains anyway. And then the referee, he's going to line up somewhere between the goal line and the 5-yard line, and he's going to be probably drifting and more towards the middle of the field. At that point, again, you got to be alert for illegal pass infractions. Again, watch for fumbles. You got to be ready for get ready for the long run. As the umpire and the white hat, if there's a long run, we're the ones that are going to have to be ready for the goal line cross or for any of that stuff. And you have to be very aware, very cognizant of the legal blocks. Anything below the waist is illegal, and that's where kids get hurt. The speed of the game today is so much quicker. The adage that the only ones that change are the officials, because we're still chasing the same 16 to 18-year-olds. The only difference now, some of us are in our 50s, 60s, and we have some in our 70s, but we're still chasing the same kids or same young adults. All right, you can go ahead and change it for me, Dana. Again, the kickoff ends, start the play clock when it's legally touched, as I was talking about. Stop the clock when the player is down, and start the play clock signaling with your hand above your head first with the single palm. Because again, after a kickoff, it's going to be a 25-second clock, and it's going to be marked ready for play by the referee. But in that dead period from the end of the kick until that first play from scrimmage, then we're going to have to make sure the chains are set. make sure, first of all, were there any infractions that we have to deal with? So don't be in a hurry. Hustle, move with purpose. Move with purpose, but always keep your eye on the field. Our time is best noted during dead ball time. So remember that, especially in some of these heated games. And, after not playing, the last games that we've had in New Mexico were that first week in December. So of 2019 so we went through 2020. Here we are in 2021. So these kids are going to be amped up. I don't know if they're going to be in football shape. I've talked to some guys that have called in Texas. Some of those guys on the east side, they might be able to pipe in about that as far as were there more injuries, because some of the information I got from El Paso was they had a lot of injuries, and that could be attributed to the restrictions they had in practice and things of that nature. All right, I think it's back to you, Mike.
Okay, sounds good. Right, let's go here. I want to clarify one thing. I got a text from Nate, and they've moved the 10 to 10 is for everybody, coaches and players. I guess they changed that since the last time, or maybe it was just me that did it. Anyway, it's from 10 to 10 on both sidelines. I don't know why I got the 25 and the 10, but anyway. All right, so we're going to go to scrimmage plays. Scrimmage plays are pass plays and run plays. And of course, we have scrimmage kicks, but we're going to talk about pass plays and run plays. We can get a feel of what the down and distance is, know the team a little bit at the first couple of series. We can kind of get an idea of what they're going to do. If they're going to pass, run, if it's short yardage, first down, second down, and what the typical game plan. Because a lot of these teams, the ones I've had, they like to put the ball in the air quite a bit, especially if they got a decent quarterback. And some of the teams that I've had the last couple of years have had a pretty decent quarterback. So we're going to talk about pass plays and run plays a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and switch to the next one, please, Dana. Thank you. All right, pass plays. We're going to talk with the back judge first. We're going to break it down position by position here. Like I say, all this stuff here should lead right into your pregame. If you guys have a game this week, this should lead right into your pregame. And maybe you could add off of this. Like say, if me and Charlie misspeak on something, just get in because most of the stuff here that I have come out of our manual. And maybe if we misspeak or something, just go in the manual and read what we were getting at. You'll get the point what we were getting at. So anyway, our players, back judge, okay, you got to help on this, because especially you got to help your wings. Your wings are watching players coming in. They're looking for who the receivers are. They're trying to see where the strong side is, the weak side is. So you really got to help these guys on this. You got to count the players. And remember, you should have 11 in an 11-man game. All right, now, I say 11, that's from the back judge. And then when we get to the other side of the ball, we'll talk a little bit about that, how we don't need 11. But anyway, just be observant of that. Be aware and make sure we have 11. We don't have a numbering requirement for those guys. And just like say, at the back judge count, make sure you have 11. And maybe give some kind of signal during your pregame. Maybe stick out your fist. Like say, I got 11. That way, your people that are counting with you will have the same number, and everybody will be on the same page. Last thing we want is have 12. We can have 10, I guess, on defense, or 8 or 9, but we can't have 12. So let's make sure we count them every play. Look for the formations. Okay, the back judge, look for the strength. All right, so the strength is going to be where your receivers line up, and you're going to be the key to help your line judge and head linesman. If you just kind of shift a little bit to one side of the field to the other, then they're going to see where you're setting up, and they're kind of maybe feed off you to see where the strength is if they can't see the other side of the field. Most of the time we can, but that's just a little something I tell the back judge to do. So it helps the wing guys pick up their receiver, the one they got to watch. Like I say, look for your keys, get your key, and always remember, as a back judge, I don't think it's verbatim in our manual. Watch that tight end, because I don't think the tight end can fit in the free blocking zone at the high school level where these formations. I guess if they really squeezed him down, he might be able to, but I think most of the time they're outside that free blocking zone. So we got to watch him. The first thing he does, he comes off the line and make sure he doesn't get one of those linebackers or defensive end below the waist. Now remember, you got to watch that. And then after that, then pick up your receiver. But initially from the snap, try to help with that. Try to help with that tight end. Sometimes I've seen game film, but we've missed that. And if we had two more guys, we probably would get that most of the time, but it's just really tough. So back judges, try to watch that. And back judges, you got to be active. You've got to be moving all the time. You help the wings, help the umpire. Don't just get back there and get in that rocking chair and just sit there, because that's not what it's about. All right, be where the ball is at the end of the play to assist with the player control. That's what I just got through talking about. If they have a running play, you need to run up to where they run in, to just stand around there till they get the ball set and then move back. Because if, like Charlie said, he's a retired state police officer. I worked in corrections for a long time, and something Charlie can contest to. If there's officer presence, likely somebody's not going to be a knucklehead. And when we're not in present, then somebody's probably going to be a knucklehead. We usually get the person that is retaliating. Make sure you start the 25 and 40. Be looking to see where the ball where it stops at, where the forward progress stops at, and look at your covering official, referee, umpire, wings. Put their hand up in the air and then start that 40-second clock right away. Or start the 25 if it's blown by the referee. Start the 25. Remember, a good back judge. I mean, I can't emphasize this enough, because I did it for a long time, and I took pride in my game as working hard as a back judge and helping my referees and helping the other officials getting the ball in. Of course, I'm a little lighter than a lot of guys, so it was come pretty easy for me. But you got to work them sideline to sideline. You've got to help get that ball in and keep control of the game. Game management. You get the ball in, get it down. 40 seconds going. Everybody's ready to go. You get a good flow of the game, a lot smoother game, a lot more fun to officiate, a lot more fun for the players to play. So make sure as a back judge, you work. Don't just go stand back there and watch the game. What was that? Anyway, next one, please, Dana. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to line judge. Line judge, same thing. Count your players. Count your players. Like I said, the back judge should help you, or the referee should help. Count the players. Watch for substitutions. If you got 3 go out, you got 3 come in, and you got to really pay attention to that and focus on. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. All of us doing work the wings. A lot of stuff goes on over there. I think the game is mostly officiated for the wings, because you deal with so many things on the wings. So you got to have good wing people and good communicators with the coach, and that helps with the game flow. Formation. All right, look for your keys. Remember, just a balanced line. You're the strong side. It just depends on whether the receivers line up with the strong side or weak side is. Look for your keys. Make sure you only have 4 players in the backfield at the snap. Now, they could probably have 5 on the line, legally numbered, and 4 in the backfield, or 6 on the line and 4 in the backfield, legally numbered, and we shouldn't have a problem. Forward progress. I can't emphasize that this is enough. You are responsible for forward progress. When you got something that's going to be a close for a first down, you need to be aware of it prior to the snap. If they need to go out 1 yard, you need to come running in there, grab that ball, whoever who's got the ball, the player, the referee, the umpire, get that ball and you put it down. Because that's what I was saying a minute ago, the wing guys control the game. Forward progress, forward progress, forward progress. That's probably the most pivotal part of the game. If you get the forward progress, sometimes it's first down, sometimes it's not. If you don't come in, the ball gets spotted and you might have gained too much, you might not got enough. Well, then if you come in and grab that ball and spot that ball and keep the clock running, don't stop the clock. If it's close, let the referee come in, take a look at it. If he thinks it's going to be a close enough formation, let him take over from there. If it's a first down, he'll signal first down. But just like I say, forward progress, I can't emphasize enough on that. The restricted area, now there's nobody can still be in there. Make sure you keep it clear. Keep it clear, especially now. You know, I don't know if we're going to be watched, but we need to, if we are watched, we need to make sure officiate like you are being watched. I guess that's what I'm looking at to say here. Make sure you keep it clear. If you have any trouble there, get with the head coach. Head coach is going to work with us too. The head coaches will work in that area because they want the kids to play. They want to keep it clear and they don't want nobody to get hurt. So we're all on the same page with that. And I think that if the kids get in there or coach actually steps to get in there, sometimes they're trying to communicate and just mention the hey coach, can you help me out with a assistant coach here, help me out with these players getting back, and he'll take care of it. And sometimes they have somebody that's what their job is, to keep that area clear. So anyway, just keep working with them, and I think you'll be right on it. Okay, go ahead and go next one, please, Dana. All right, pass plays, head linesman. So I'm gonna hit pretty much the same thing on this one, except you got the chain crew to take care of. All right, so you're gonna count your players, be aware of substitutes coming in, be aware how many players, same player count as I talked about a minute ago. Look for your keys, make sure you only have 4 players in the backfield at the snap. Forward progress, I can't emphasize enough on forward progress. I know the chains are at your back, but you should glance around and you should know how far they have to go for a first down. You should know in your mind, okay, if he gets a foot and he needs a foot, I need to run and get the ball. If both of you, line judge and referee, line judge and headlines come at the same time, doesn't matter. One of you get the ball and spot it. I'm sure you guys are gonna be pretty darn close to one another because you're watching it. Like I say, the game is officiated mostly from the wings. I can't emphasize enough and credit those guys enough that do work the wings because that's a lot of work for them. They got the responsibilities, plus they got the sideline to take care of and manage. Another thing, make sure you keep the restricted, communicate with the head coach. Another thing, keep with the head coach. And I say, as long as you communicate with him and get a good relationship with him, he might bark at you now and then, but that's just part of the game. Just keep communicating with him. And I think the communications is the best measure here. Chain crew and measurements. All right, chain crew, make sure that you have a good pregame with your chain crew. Like I say, most of these places in the past, except for what we're in right now, they have experienced chain crews. I know down here, the people that usually do it have reached out to me already, and we'll probably get them there, but I try to get it set up with the athletic director here and see how he wants to handle it here. But make sure you get with the chain crew, the head linesman, that's your job. Measurements, make sure you do the proper measurement, make sure you get the grab the chain where the clip is at the backside of the whatever direction you're going, and make sure you take control of that. Make sure you put the down box at the front stake so we know where we're going back to. And then make sure you take care of the chain crew, make sure you get them in there and get lined up. We'll talk about the measurements a little bit later. I don't want to jump into that right yet, but we'll just talk about that. Okay, the next one, please, Dana. I think, Charlie, the next one's yours. There you go.
Yeah, well, being an umpire, yeah, first and foremost, make sure you count your players. Again, a lot of this is redundant, and it's also something that if you haven't developed the muscle memory and you aren't doing it, you're doing a disservice to your partners. So again, the umpire, you're going to count the offensive players. You're going to position yourself. Again, myself speaking as an umpire, I'm usually just to the right of the center. Most of our quarterbacks they're predominantly right-handed, and so I know where the referee's going to be. But I'm not pretty much at an angle. I'm pretty much just to the right of the center. That's my comfort. About 7 to 10 yards off the ball. Obviously, we're in a pass-oriented generation, so a lot of the times your linemen they're in a 2-point stance. They're not in a 3 or 4, and So take a look at that. You know who your inside five are, your numbers. He mentioned it earlier about the free blocking zone. Be cognizant of that. I find it hard to believe that you could stuff people in there, but if a player has his or her foot in that free blocking zone at the snap, then they are part of the free blocking zone. But so again, be aware of that. Your keys, I'm keying from the right guard over and watching that initial charge, that initial down block, and then but also and I'm moving with purpose. Again, I'm not running to the line, but I'm moving towards the line of scrimmage in the event that if the quarterback has to scramble, and so that I'm in that proximity where the line of scrimmage is in the event that he passes it and he throws an illegal pass. So be aware of that as well, and continue to officiate. Watch the ball. Sometimes you're going to have the best look, especially on some of these short passes over the middle. You may have the best look, so you might be able to help the linesman or the line judge, and in some cases the back judge with a complete or incomplete. And so your play doesn't end just because the ball's been released. And then again, obviously, so be aware of that. And after the snap, again, like I said, you're moving towards the line of scrimmage, and you're looking for infractions. And looking for infractions, you want to ensure that the game is played. The last thing you want to be is the focal point. The infraction. So when you throw a flag for a hold or an illegal block, if it's a safety issue, nobody's ever going to question it. But good gosh, you're going to have parties mad at you because theoretically we could throw a flag on every offensive play, and that would serve no purpose. Again, like I said, follow the ball all the way through the receiver. So again, many times I've been able to help the guys, and they'll ask, "Hey, did you get a look at that?" Yes, I did. And again, be emphatic. If it's incomplete, I mean, you don't need to jump up and down and stuff, but make sure that you give a clear signal that it's incomplete. And if they call it a catch and you're waving it off and you tell, "Hey, I had a good look," I'm telling you to skip. Make sure you convey that to your partners. It sounds like common sense, but so many times we get so wrapped up in the moment that we don't continue to officiate the play. And all right, Dana, you can go to the next one. Pass plays for the referee. And again, the referee, it's very unique because first and foremost, their responsibility is the quarterback. So he's going to stay with the quarterback, and as long as he's in a position where he's going to throw or going to be a potential runner. So especially if he's a mobile quarterback, and again, we're talking about high school young men and women, they're pretty mobile. So he's got to be able to stay with the quarterback, but he's also got to do what he can to help the umpire, especially with that far side tackle. He's going to have the best look, but he's going to stay with the quarterback first. So if you're an active umpire, you're going to help your referee out quite a bit. Especially we don't have the luxury of 7-man, or in some of your larger Division I conferences of 8-man. So we don't have that box mentality. So our areas are a little bit larger. 5 is much better than 4, but 7 is a heck of a lot better than 5. So so again, you're there as a referee. Your primary responsibility is that guy that is the quarterback. Stay with him as long as and again, trust your partners. So that should be about that. You can go ahead and go to the next one. I think you're up, Mike.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Tardy. All right, pass play, all officials. all officials should watch for ineligibles downfield. I think the umpire usually picks up on that most of the time, but I put this in there just if somebody's downfield with an ineligible number, let's get that. Let's not let that go just because we're watching our eligible receivers in the pass play. Let's make sure if we see an ineligible number that we get that. But most of the time that's going to be pass blocking, and the receiver, the linemen are going to go downfield before the ball is thrown, or something along them lines. But make sure we watch for our ineligible. Just be aware of it. Okay, Dana, next one, please. All right, run plays, back judge. All right, so this is another one that I like to hit on because, like I said, I took a lot of pride. I worked the back judge for a long time, and I had a lot of fun at it, and I still do it now and then. Be prepared to watch the tackles with runs up the middle. So that's kind of where you're watching. Like say, I emphasize again on at the snap, we always want to watch that tight end until we see what the play is going to do. If he runs up the middle, we need to watch the tackle, but make sure you pick up the tight end at the snap. Then as they're blocking in front of the runner, make sure there's no leg whipping or stuff like that going on, face mask and stuff like that. Because the umpire, if it's run up the middle, the umpire is probably trying to get out of the way or keep from getting run over. And sometimes they don't have that much luck and they do get run over, and unfortunately, but that's just part of the football game. But just like say, be aware of that and watch the runner, the blocking of the runner, around the runner and in front of the runner. Observe the runner into their coverage areas. Be aware of first down. Know when the first down is. Usually your wings are going to have that because they're looking at it straight across, but you can assist with it. If it's a long run and you know it's a first down, stop the clock. But remember, always when you stop the clock or give incompletes, always stop, square up, and give your mechanics. Please don't ever give incomplete or stop the clock when you're running. It's one of my pet peeves. I think it doesn't look very good, and I think we look a lot more professional if we stop and take our times and do our mechanics correctly. Observe the players. Assist with first down was achieved. If the ball was achieved in the side zone, be over there and get the ball from the wing guys, line judge or head linesman, and get the ball into the umpire so he can spot it. At the same time, you got your 40-second clock going. So as soon as he puts his hand up when he first down, you're gonna hit that little stopwatch on your arm, and you got your 40-second going. And make sure you do that because back judges, that's your responsibility in a 5-man game. I'm not gonna say anything about the 4-man game because it's handled by so many different, but we're gonna try to stay with a 5-man game here. That would be for another time, or maybe in one of your local meetings, you guys could go over that. Okay, Dana, next one, please. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. All right, run plays. Line judge says linesman. You need to read the blocking, observe the blocking. Remember, we gotta watch the holding, and if tripping or grabbing or kicking, we gotta watch that stuff. You gotta keep a good eye on it and know where the line to gain is, and be conscious of it. Especially the line judge, you always have the best look.
You think you're gonna go to a job?
What's that? Okay. Need to read the blocking. Observe. Don't even make me lose the concentration. Know where the first down is. Always as your line judge, your head linesman. Head linesman is behind you, but look around before the ball snap during the play. Know how far they got to go. That way, when they do get it, it's come close. Glance back and see where they're at. But like I say, if it's close, you need to run in. You need to be the one spotting that ball. Nobody else. Keep the clock running. Like I said, like I spoke before, if close, let the referee stop the clock if he needs to think of measurement. Or if it's short, there's no reason to stop the clock. No reason to stop the clock at all. If it's a first down, then the referee will stop the clock, and then we'll put the ball in and get the chains moved up. Okay, Dana, next one, please. Is that you, Charlie? Yeah, that's you, Charlie. Charlie, you with me? All right, I'll go ahead. Referee reads. You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
umpire and referee. The referee is going to lead, as I talked about with the pass play. He's going to read the left tackle, and he's going to observe the handoff and the actions around the quarterback. And the umpire is going to read the right guard, determine the point of attack, and observe the blocking. Again, that's in a nutshell. But it's in most of your plays, they're what, 3 to 5 seconds in length. Some of them a little bit longer, and then that 40-second. It all starts with the end of the play. You're putting your hand up, start that 40-second clock, and you should have that ball ready to go within 12 to 15 seconds. Hence the 25-second clock. So, but again, the blocking scheme, the running, which is so rare anymore. Some of your smaller schools and some of your smaller, if you have smaller personnel, maybe you're a little bit more run, but some of these schools, it's so one-sided as far as the run versus the pass, or pass versus a run, excuse me, and it's also added to the length of the game. It's one thing to throw a pass, but it's another thing to complete a pass. But as myself as the umpire, again, I'm watching that initial charge, but again, going back to when we're talking about pass plays, your responsibility doesn't end until you're spotting the ball for the next play. I mean, so yeah, it's real quick. Boom, I read the right guard. I read that block. I want to make sure that, and again, when we're talking the free blocking zone, it's immediate. If a player is not in the zone and he can't be blocked, or he can't block below your offense or defense, if it's and if there's a hesitation, lineman comes up a little bit and then goes down, that's illegal. And sometimes as the umpire, we really need some help from the wings, as far as on that, because especially when they're running a more wide open offense, the split, where their splits are a little bit wider, because that 3x3x8 is a lot smaller than it sounds. So, but I think we can move to the next one, Dana, if you don't mind.
I'll start this one, Charlie.
Okay.
Okay. This is something everybody got the email from Dana on the return to competition. I just want to go over a couple of these things. It's on the email. I hope everybody read it, but I printed out a copy of it. And I took a few notes and put on here, and then I'll go over a couple of these things. Anyway, return to competition is what we're doing. The event guidelines, they're on that there. The season will be shorter, of course, that. 60 individuals. We don't worry about that. That's not our deal. Governance ordinance, spectators shall not be, that's not ours. All players, coaches, media shall, individuals in attendance must wear a mask. And remember, we don't count anybody. That's the school thing. We don't count that. All we do is count the players on the team field. During the contest, game officials, team personnel, and administrators shall wash and sanitize the ball. Now, there's a little comment in here. If they're going to sanitize the ball and we have a timeout, especially the kids, I don't think are in football shape. We talked about that a little bit. And they're going to sanitize the ball. We usually give them a minute, but if we need to give them a minute and a half, maybe even 2 minutes, everybody catch their breath. It's not going to be a big deal, because the kids are wanting to play and we don't want them to get hurt, because I don't think they're in football shape. And I hope most of us are. I've been riding my bike and walking and stuff quite a bit, so hopefully we are. Mask mandate, everybody's got to wear one. We got to wear them. We can't take them off. That's what they want us to do. We do what they say, because we want to be out there just as much as the kids do. The kids, if you have some trouble with somebody not wearing a mask, just go to the coach. Hey, coach, help me out with so-and-so. Hey, coach, one of your assistants, so-and-so. If they got it below the nose, that's not wearing their face mask. They got to get up on their nose. It slips down, they pick it up right away. We ain't gonna worry about it. Just communicate with the head coach on it. Don't be the mask police, but just go to him. If a kid definitely don't want to wear it, that's the same thing as not wearing equipment. So if he don't want to wear it, he's on the field, well, it's part of his equipment. He has to go out for a play. And I think hopefully we don't have to get to that point, but that's part of their required equipment as of right now. And so they go out and just like if any other equipment's not, like their chin strap or mouthpiece or whatever is missing, they go out for a play. 60 individuals on the sideline, that's not us. That's none of our deal. That's the school admin, ADs. Dana's put this out. I mean, the thing come out, and I think she got it from her boss, and now it's down to us, and we don't worry about that. I know the school's admin, I'm sure Dana's made them aware of all these things, and I think they've had meetings just like we do. So we don't need to worry about that. All right, Dana, you go to the next one, please. All right, rule modifications. There's a few rule modifications. The coin toss I talked about a little bit earlier. We get one person and one captain from each team, and the umpire will come in for a visiting team, and the referee will come in from the home team, and we'll have one captain, no handshakes. But like I say, we can try to tell them not to, but that hugging, all that, and I think they all know that they're not supposed to do that, even though they're fixing to get after it here and knock each other silly. But anyway, we just got to do what the NMOA has asked us to do. And this is what some of the stuff they asked. And if you guys can get that email and read it over, because our games start this week and we need to go by the guidelines that they gave us. We need to follow them. Like I say, anything that you don't pertain to you, make sure you take it to the head coach, and the athletic directors will be there. Athletic director will take care of other stuff. So just communicate with everybody, and I think we'll be right. Team box, like I misspoke earlier, and I got corrected. It's going from 10-yard line to 10-yard line. Restricted area is still the same. They can't be in there with a live ball. Nothing's changed there, but 10-yard line to 10-yard line. Timeout, extra length. It says right here in the rule modifications. If they need a little extra time when they're clearing the ball, if you think they need a little extra time, give them a little 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe even 2 minutes. This just depends on what part of the game it is. And if they need it, don't deny them of it. We don't want nobody to get hurt. If they run out of gas, let them get rejuvenated. So, all right, Dana, the next one, please. Okay, sideline. All right, the coaches on the sideline. Now, this is something I wanted to add here. Restricted area that we talked about just a few minutes ago. You have tools for that restricted area. We don't like to use it, but I think if you have to use them, you don't use them. I've used them in the past. I had a game a couple years ago. It was a really intense game. The winner was for seeding, and I was on the wings, and his coaching staff just thought they were going to have their way with me. And it was probably maybe 3-4 minutes into the game. I gave him a sideline warning, and that summed down a little bit. And then they started up again, and I gave them another one, 5-yard penalty. So now they got the 5-yard. And the next one's serious. So I'll tell you what, use those tools correctly and use them when they're appropriate. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be okay, because you have, if you don't use your tools and follow this, and something happens, you have to disqualify the coach, or you don't do anything to the coach, and the coach is being ungodly. Okay, that's on you. You want to take that abuse, that's on you. Don't go to the NMOA and say that, ask them to bail you out because of the way the coach acted. That's on you. So make sure you take care of that. Okay, Dana, next one, please. Kicking plays, kickoffs, and punts. Charlie, you want to kick on that a little bit? How are we doing on time, Dana? We all right?
Yeah, we're doing good. We're
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Again, kicking plays. We talked about the kickoff itself, but we have kickoffs, punts, and we have field goals, and scrimmage kicks, free kicks. After an awarded fair catch, or after a fair catch, you can. You're obviously the kickoffs always going to be from the 40, unless there was a penalty on the previous play. It's gonna be from the 40. There's always going to be a 10-yard separation between the receiving team and the kicking team. Everyone has to be within 5 yards of the kick line, with the exception of the kicker, and that's inside the 5 yard. You have to have at least 4 on each side, so that's for a kickoff. And again, back judge for 5-man, he's the one he's gonna be telling these kickers every game, every kicking situation that, hey, he's not gonna give them the ball until he's got the proper amount of players, and then he's gonna look to his line judge for the same thing. Make sure you got 11 on each. So that's your kickoffs. Again, your punts. It's nice on that. Hey, we're always, hey, you got 10, you got 10. Well, as long as there's 5 on the line of scrimmage, and there's no more, and there's less than 4 in the backfield, it's going to be okay. So the punt's going to go, and you're in punt formation. I believe you have to be a minimum of 7 yards to receive the snap. Again, the punter is going to have protection very comparable to that of the quarterback. And again, be careful for the running into the kicker or the roughing the kicker. Obviously, running is a 5 yard. It's the only automatic first downs that we have are the roughing the kicker, holder, or snapper, or roughing the quarterback at the federation level. Everything else, they're yardage-based penalties. Some you're not allowed to replay the down, but again, so be cognizant of that. Your reads, and for your punts, your back judges, he's going to be your deep guy, usually 5 to 7 yards behind your deepest guy. The line judge, he's going to release at the snap, and then the linesman, he's going to hold his position. He's going to hold his position, his or her position, until the ball crosses the expanded neutral zone. But again, you have your responsibilities for the out of bounds, watching for fair catch signals, be it a good fair catch signal or an improper signal. In reference, and again, it was talked about in one of the previous Zoom meetings. Okay, plays dead on a, but the only one that's afforded the protection is the person who makes the signal, be it a good signal or a bad signal. It's still going to, the play's going to end, but the only one that's afforded protection is that person that actually made the signal. Field goals, now that we've got some young men that can really boom the ball, especially they don't get penalized if they're kicking a 40-yard field goal. Again, they're roughly 7.5 yards off the ball. Your snapper, and your holder, he's going to have a knee on the ground. And remember, he can't, from that position, he can't pitch the ball. He has to come up and then he can pitch the ball. Now, if it's a high snap, he can reach up to grab it to put it back down. He's okay. But again, he's not penalized. The ball's live. If kickers can't touch it once it's over the neutral, once it's kicked and over the goalpost. Otherwise, it's no good. Obviously, if one of the receivers jumps up and flicks it and then forces it over, that's okay. But I'm surprised that more kicks, other than the fact they're concerned about blocks, that they don't use them, because you're not penalized. It's not like the pros where you're going back to where the ball was kicked. So if it rolls into the end zone, it's a touchback. Just like same thing with a punt. If a kick goes into the end zone, it's a touchback. It's not, it's not that you can run it out. The only play in which you can run out of the end zone as is on an interception, a fumble recovery. But so those are. But absent that, everything else, if the ball goes into the end zone, you stop the clock. Plays dead. Ball again. If it's a touchback, it's going to the 20. So, and same thing, field goals, they're just another freak, but they're going to kick. Obviously, if it's a field goal and it's good, it's 3 points. If it's no good, then the ball's going to, if it rolls into the end zone, it's going to be there. Ball's live until it crosses the until it crosses the goal line. And then if it rolls into the goal line or it passes the goal and it's clearly no good, the clock stopped, the play's dead, and the ball would be placed at the 20 for the opposing team. You can go ahead and change it for me if you don't mind, Dana.
Yeah, I'll do this one, Charlie.
Okay.
Okay, if you make an error, you miss a play, you miss a holding, you miss a clip, you do something that you shouldn't have or you missed, acknowledge it. No matter what it is. Like if you have an inadvertent whistle, acknowledge it. Save your credibility and integrity. So just I think honesty and good communications with the sideline and the players and your fellow officials is paramount. So just always do that. All right, Dana, the next one, please. No, I think we hit most of that, Dana. Let's see the last one. Yeah, okay. Nate, you want to run those 2 clips real quick, and then I think it'll be it. If you don't mind, please.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that they actually play on my computer. I'm having issues, so hold on.
Well, we know that.
Yeah. Yeah. And non-technology. All right, let's see. Well, okay, let's see. Where's my screen? Share screen. And it's going to be black now. Can you see that?
All right,
Yes.
guys, this is just a little couple clips I made that Nate helped me make. So go ahead, Nate, run it. All this comes right out of your officials manual. So you're aware of who your coverage is right there. Should be no question. Okay, run the other one if you would, Nate, please, if you can.
Yep.
Thank you. And this is not really a mechanics thing. It's just a mechanic of what the referee should be doing.
I think Nate just didn't want to operate the slideshow because these videos he's running just fine. I don't know.
Is this one up?
He gamed
He
you,
was
Dana. He
napping.
gamed you.
He
He's
did
napping.
game me and I fell for it.
Right.
Nate,
What
well
about
played.
What about this one? Is this one up?
It
Yeah,
is.
Yes,
this
it
one-
is.
yeah, you're good. Play it.
Okay, and this one has sound, Mike.
Okay.
In this video, we're going to show the position of the referee before the snap. Should be 10 to 12 yards off the line of scrimmage and be able to see both tackles.
And that's it, Nate. We don't care what happens after the play. It's just a mechanical thing I put. I had some for the umpires, but I was telling Nate I don't know what the heck I did with them. I couldn't find them. So anyway, that's all. That's on it, Nate.
Cool.
And that's it, Dana. Thank you,
Awesome.
Charlie. Thank
There
you,
were
Tommy. Thank you, Gordon, and thank you, Leonard, for your contributions. And thank you, Charlie, for helping me.
and there were a couple questions and comments in there. Let me go back and if I missed your question, I apologize. And maybe there were more statements and they didn't need to be answered. But if the tight end is in the free blocking zone, then no one outside of him is. I've seen them cut to the outside at the snap. So I think that's more of a statement. One thing I see on forward progress is when it's along the sideline, we're giving them forward progress and the out of bounds to stop the clock. It needs to be one or the other.
Good point. Good point.
Yep. And then thanks for the recognition, Mike. I think that was Joseph Ruiz. Your line judge should help with line to gain if a first down is made.
Correct.
Help your umpires with your relays, line judge, headlines. And back judge, don't make your umpire run after the footballs, hit the umpire in the chest, practice these things.
Right.
Yeah, umpires, watch out for the pick on drags over the middle.
Correct.
Martine said, Nate, you're fired. I must have just walked out of the room or something for a quick moment. Umpires, run up the middle, be a swinging gate. We can extend one timeout up to 2 minutes. Also, teams that are pass happy, umpires, make sure your crew is ready to play before the snap. Are fist bumps acceptable? Dana, that would probably be.
I know we were talking to wrestling earlier today, and they were talking about fist bumps being okay. I know in wrestling, the whole issue is they didn't want them to shake hands in that sport. And it's like, really, have you watched a wrestling match? That's 6 minutes of doing a lot more than shaking hands. But, you know, football's gave you the same thing. It's a contact sport. If kids fist bump, I don't think that that's a problem. I haven't seen anywhere that it's documented that they can't. But I will make sure to ask Dusty tomorrow, and if I'm wrong, I'll make sure to get something out.
A lot of great jobs, guys. And then let's see, if you run into or bump a coach in the restricted area, is a UC, no warning, and then corrected, not UC, but still 15 yards. Sorry, personal foul, still 15 yards. Yep. And then
We're just getting everybody's marbles turning. So game awareness, that's what we did tonight. And I like the comments. Everybody's thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Please repeat all individuals that are in pregame meeting due to COVID. I'm ready for some football. So real quick, before I let Dana close it out, leave the what ifs to the game administrators and to Dana. Don't even bring those to me because I'm above my pay grade. But look, go have fun. Stick to your fundamentals. Somebody mentioned it. I think Charlie mentioned, just go out and do what you do. You're all good at what you do, and we have some of the best football officials in the country. If you just rely on your fundamentals and you focus on the game itself, don't worry about wearing the mask. Don't worry about the players wearing the mask. Leave that to game administration. They will take care of it. I promise you. And if they're not taking care of it, no problem. When that game ends, the white hat, the crew chief will send Dana a report, Sally a report, and Dusty a report, and let us deal with the headaches. You just go do what you love doing. And man, I can't tell you, I said it at the beginning of the meeting, I am so pumped up for all of you that get to go out and put the stripes on. I was fortunate enough to put my stripes on a couple times this year, and I'm telling you, when you're out there, it's mask or no mask, COVID or no COVID, officiating is officiating. And when you get out there, it's freaking the best feeling you'll have all year. So go have fun with it.
Thanks, Nate. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who presented this season and everybody who attended this season. I thought the meetings were really outstanding and there was good content discussed. As I stated, this is our last meeting of the season altogether, but I really like the fact that we were able to have everybody from across the state together, being on the same page and, giving each other a hard time occasionally, because that's what all of this is about. It's about the friendships and the camaraderie just as much as it is about everything else. But as Nate said, don't overthink anything. Just go do what you do, because I think a lot of people are freaking out and overanalyzing things. Don't worry about it. It's going to come to you the minute you put air in your whistle, throw your first flag, run out on the field, whatever there's going to be a moment for you where everything's just going to go back to normal as far as being an official. Yeah, you've got a mask on, but just go have fun. Don't overthink it. Know that we're here for you. And, Nate and I are so excited that you all get to do what it is that you love doing. And it's been a long lull. It's been a long drought. And we're just happy to see you all getting the opportunity to get back out on the field. So enjoy every moment. if you run into any problems, we're here for you. We have your backs, and just let us know what's going on. If there's things that we need to reiterate to the masses, if there's things we need to run up the flagpole to Sally and Dusty, we're glad to do that. We're here for you 110%. So just have fun. I'm cheering for you. Nate's cheering for you. You won't have fans to boo you, so if you want us to do that, we'll take care of it for you as well. But we'll be cheering for you all the way this season. Again, Mike, Charlie, thanks so much for your presentation. Very well done, guys.
Real quick, Dwayne Brown wanted me to mention, we had a discussion or a conversation earlier today. If your local group and you do have meetings in the next couple weeks, or you've had them in the past few weeks, group leaders, send me those final numbers when you're done of how many extra credit meetings your officials attended, and I will add that to the final report that you'll get at the end of the year with your meeting attendance credit and everything else. And what I'll do is I'll send out 2 emails. I'll send one out that says, here's your credit, this is what you've received. If you want to dispute it, then dispute it. And then once I get all the disputes and everybody corrected, then I'll send you the final report. And that's one you can keep on file for next season, or because next year I may say that you're playoff eligible and you're all, wait a minute, I have this email that says that I attended everything, I should be state eligible. Perfect. We're good to go.
And next week, remember, everybody should be having a local meeting sometime between Sunday and Saturday. So make sure you do that. But again, knock it out whenever your first game is. Have a great time. And if you think about it, take a crew photo and send it my way. I love those. It's like my family photo album. I have kids, so I've got to have pictures of you all on my phone, which is a little weird when you are showing pictures of
You won't be
adults
able
as
to
their children.
identify. We'll all have masks on.
I'll still know who you are. I know.
Oh, okay.
I know my children. But
And,
yeah, take some crew photos and send them my way. I would love that. So either shoot me an email with them or a text message, or however, because we're trying to post some of that stuff on social media as well, just to show that we're back at it. So
Okay.
have a blast, guys.
Bernard, you asked why aren't the games showing on the arbiter calendar? I'm not sure. Unless you have an assigned game, you wouldn't be able to see games. We don't show full access to all games. I hope that answers that question.
All right.
So,
If
yep.
there's nothing else, everybody have a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of your week and a great weekend. And we'll see you sometime down the road. But if you need anything, please holler. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good job, Mike. Good job, Charlie.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Amazing.
Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.
Hey, Dana, real quick, did you find my procedures for track? Did you?
No, I need you to email them to me because I don't think I ever got them. When did you email them?
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and send them again.
I'll send it to you and Chris.
That'd be great. We would appreciate
Okay.
that greatly, Mr. Velasquez.
Hey,
Okay.